A live TV studio can sometimes be compared to a zoo. Today, it is more like that than ever.
Education Director for the Red River Zoo, Leila Goulet, brought some of her furry and feathered friends to talk about conservation. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So could you go and describe a bit more about your job at the zoo?
I'm the Director of Education at the zoo, so I take care of everything educational, from running the camps to doing the educational components and our special events, to running our Junior Zookeeper program during the summers.
To coming on television.
To coming on television and bringing education animals.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this educational animal you have with you today.
Well, I figured I'd bring him because he's very unique. This is a snapping turtle. And he's actually not the color that he should be. He's actually an albino. And
so how common are these albino turtles?
They are not common at all in the wild. They basically get eaten right away because of their color. They don't camouflage very well. I'd say 1 in every 30,000 is actually albino.
So this is not like a special breed?
Nope.
This is an albino turtle.
Yes, just like we could have albino people and other albino species, it's an albino turtle.
Sure. And so how would you feed an albino snapping turtle?
He gets fed a diet of fish within his aquarium.
Okay.
So that's what he'd eat in the wild.
And how did you get him?
He was actually donated to us. So there was a clutch of eggs that was hatched and someone decided to donate him to the zoo because he is so unique and he wouldn't make it in the wild.
So why is it white?
He's just actually missing a pigment called melanin. So it's not that he's actually white, it's that he's actually missing the pigments.
Well, and with albino species, I know that sometimes they need special care, like sunlight hurts them.
Exactly.
And things like that. Is it the same with
Yep, if we're doing an outdoor program, we have to be careful. His skin and his eyes are more sensitive to the sun, so we need to kind of limit the amount of daylight that he's exposed to if we are taking him on an educational program that's outside.
Okay, so your zoo is involved in a program known as the Species Survival Plan. What does this accomplish?
So that's basically a program that's set up to breed endangered species in the wild, and they breed species that would not exist in the wild if it wasn't for this.
Okay.
Right.
Well, we can go ahead and Elizabeth over there is going to grab the turtle.
Perfect.
And also, Leila, what is your personal favorite, animal to work with?
I'm kind of biased. I do love birds of prey, so I love the animals that actually hunt for food.
And are we going to be seeing one of those on the show today?
We will. He's actually our last one. But first, I thought I'd bring out our furry friend.
Oh, wow.
This is probably, you could pet him if you'd like. Okay. This is a chinchilla. It's called a long-tailed chinchilla. And they're probably one of the softest animals you'll ever touch.
Amazingly soft.
Yeah.
So now you were talking about birds of prey. I'm assuming this little guy would
probably be a good prey for an eagle, yes, unfortunately. These guys have very soft fur. We have 1 hair follicle, 1 hair per follicle, and these guys have 50 to 60.
In each follicle?
In each follicle.
Wow.
Yep.
So can you have these animals as pets?
They do. They do make good pets. They do require a lot of care. They need to have a dust bath a couple times a week. We give it to them every day.
So how does that work?
So basically I fill a little bath, a little bowl, let's say, with a special ground dust, and they rub themselves all over, and it actually defends themselves from parasites, and it actually keeps them clean. Yeah.
So how do these compare to other types of rodents, such as like rabbits or guinea pigs?
In terms of what? Just in terms of
for pets?
I find them very fast and skittish, so they do need a lot of exercise. We let them run around every day, whereas rabbits can be a lot calmer. And, yeah.
Well, let's put him back in the cage and get to your favorite then.
My favorite.
You brought a raptor today.
I did. Don't get too excited. He's actually the smallest raptor that exists
but he's still quite
in North America. He's an awesome little hunter. He's actually one of my favorites. And hopefully he will make a sound when he comes out. He might fly out here. Let's see if we get him out here. There we go.
Wow.
So this is Clyde. He does have a name. It's okay. He's attached. I thought he was going to call.
So how do you feed this guy in captivity?
So they get a mixed diet of bird of prey, which is kind of like ground meat made specially for the bird of prey, and they also get frozen mice.
Would you ever release this bird then?
He's unreleasable at this point because he spent so much time at our zoo, he wouldn't know how to hunt in the wild. And this is an American kestrel. I don't think I said that. But
Yeah, and where would you find an American kestrel? Usually?
everywhere. I saw 4 of them driving down from the zoo till here.
Really?
Yeah, they're all around Fargo. They're all distributed over North America.
Okay. And they hunt what? If they're the smallest raptor, what do they
They're
hunt?
awesome at hunting mice.
Okay.
They have excellent vision. They will hunt birds and catch them in the air. They have the ability to hover. So they...
You would think with the size of this guy, a mouse would feed him for like a week.
He gets 1 mouse a day.
And so does he use his talons for this?
It's exactly what he does, and then he tears it with his sharp beak.
So really, Leila, you describe, you have such a good bond with these animals. Really, how did you know this was your calling?
Oh, I think when you know, you just know. Like, when I'm with them, I just feel fulfilled, and I think it's one of the best jobs in the world.
When people bring animals and then you can release them, is it tough releasing them after?
It's bittersweet because on one hand, you love to have them for education, to educate people about them, but on the other hand, you're happy that they get to return to where they're supposed to be in the wild.
All right.
Well, we're so happy you came and
thank you so much for
shared with us
having
today.
us.
And we'll make sure that he's happy through the break as
Yes.
well. All right.